Okay, in this video, I thought it might be interesting if we looked at this old German price guide, which has prices in English, um, from 2005. It's got a great section on the vintage figures, so I thought as the retro collection's coming out soon, and it's May the 4th tomorrow, so maybe it's out tomorrow, we could look at the order of how the original vintage figures came out in, the sort of order. So you've got these figures here, these are the loose figures, and then we've got, well, more interesting in the cards. So I think the first new vintage cards are going to be like this, 12 back or 20 back, 21 back, which is really great. And we've had that card before in the 2004 VOTC. Then there's the Empire version, Return of the Jedi, Gunner card, if that card comes out again, just how great card that is. And it's on the Tri logo as well, which I do have. That's on YouTube if you want to check it out. Then same, but it's just the Luke with the brown hair, so that's something Hasbro could do with the retro collection, is do major variations with figures like Luke with blonde and brown hair, Han with small head, big head, vinyl cape jar. Well, I don't think they should do the vinyl cape jar, that's such a legend. Then they could do the Princess Leia, she's coming on that card, and she's been issued on that VOTC card as well from 2004, but that was a modern figure. Now they're doing the sort of replicas of these figures on the Empire, very rare Return Jedi, and scarce Tri logo. So these prices are just totally out of whack now. You've got the Han, that's the sort of card. I'm not sure which version. I guess they're doing the small head version first, or are they doing? I think no, they're doing the big headed version. So it's the Han big head coming out first. I'm sure they'll do the small head variation. Even came out on the Empire Strikes Back card, very rare. You can double, triple these prices now, easy. Then Empire, 2 Jedis. If you notice that this picture was changed to this, so that gives Hasbro plenty of scope to update cards and do even new. Well, if they're going to do new characters like Grand Moff Tarkin, then they can just choose whatever picture they want to do. There's Han in the, there's R2D2. I think he'll be in the second wave. So he only made it onto 2. He made it onto Empire Strikes Back. Then they switched to the center scope. C3PO. Great card. So if they're gonna do this figure again, they're gonna have to metalize it. Then you've got the Stormtrooper. That's if they do all the card figures. I mean, they might not do all the figures. Then they've got the Stormtrooper here on 21 back. That one's definite. So they're definitely doing the Stormtrooper. I mean, in America you can already pick them up in whatever store it is that has them. Power of the Force collector coins. So they did the yak face on this type of card. Looks really good. Return Jedi, Empire card. Tri logo Stormtrooper. So he's just got one Stormtrooper on the image, and they've got 2. Ben Kenobi. Is he in the first wave of 6? I don't think he is, but he'll definitely be coming out. Such a classic character. On the Star Wars card, and then they did it on these 2 cards. You got Power of the Force again. Tri logo. They changed the image, so they changed it on the Return of Jedi card, this card first, and that carried on into the Tri logo, and actually into the Power of the Force. Then definitely getting the new the Darth Vader, this vintage style figure on this type of card. Obviously the card's been made to look old, but then you had the Darth Vader. I mean, many vintage collection collectors will know these cards because Vader's been on these sort of cards, and the sort of this classic image card. That's the updated Return of Jedi card. Beautiful card, that one. And then you got the Darth Vader Return of Jedi. So you could get a lot of the vintage collection Darth Vaders on these sort of cards, like VC93. The reissued. There's a new Vader just out. I think he came out on the is it Empire card. I'm sure it's 2019 Darth Vader vintage collection. He's a reissue of the 2010 figure. And you've got Vader and Powder Force, Vader's tri-logo. You've got the Jawa. They shouldn't redo the vinyl Cape Jawa. I don't think they should anyhow. Maybe they will, but hopefully you'll be able to tell it apart from the original. Cloth Cape Jawa. Those are the 3 cards. This is the one I want reissued. Cloth Cape on a Star Wars card. I mean, of these two, I prefer the Return of Jedi logo to the Empire, even though the Empire is worth more. Then you got this one, and then you got the most valuable, the tri-logo Jawa. Something I could have bought in '93 or '94 for a steal. I just turned my nose up it. I really regret that. That's like one of those what ifs, you know. Then the Sam Person, he looks great. He has to come out on the Star Wars card in the retro collection. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, tri-logo. I mean, he's got quite a major variation with the hollow cheeks, which they could, I guess, do again, because the figure's going to be date stamped with China and all that sort of stuff now, and the current date. Chewbacca, he looks great. So they do him on this sort of card, look great. They've just done him the VC collection figure this year. I just saw a review of that on this sort of card. So there's Chewbacca. All different US type cards. The tri-logos were sold in the US. Power of the Force, very nice card. Death Squad Commander, until he becomes Star Destroyer Commander. So a 20 back card or 12 back, that would be nice in the retro collection. 4-1 cards, these will look so great on in the retro collection. So you've got a tri-logo card, Brazilian, French square, Italian. Then we got the next 8 figures, or 9 figures, 1, 2, yeah, 9. So hopefully they'll do the first 12, and then they'll do these ones next. That's if they follow the way Kenner originally released them back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, look at that for a card, it's just beautiful, it's a work of art. That would just be so mouth-watering. Beautiful card back at Death Squad Commander. I mean Death Star Droid. Greedo as well. It's just so, you know, the retro collection has this, you know, some of these cards are just so nice. Hammerhead, retro collection on that. Beautiful Luke X-Wing. But this has been done in the Saga VOTC. We've had that figure. I mean, we've had this card back with a modern figure. Tri-logo, Powder Force, R5D4. So he was last year in the 40th anniversary 6-inch, which we never saw in the UK, and he's been in the vintage collection 2010 to maybe 2011 he came out. Very hard to find. This figure on this card back is tough, and this one. R5D4 is so hard to find in the UK. Empire, Jedi, tri-logo. Ignore the prices are totally... Snaggletooth on a Star Wars card, red Snaggletooth. Looks very nice. Walrus Man. Very colourful character. I mean, a lot of these figures look pretty you know, funky, but you know, and obviously Boba Fett. I mean, they did the Boba Fett, haven't they? They've done that with the Mail Away Boba Fett, Rocket Fine Boba Fett. So I guess they could reissue that again. So you've got a chance already of owning that, and then you've got some Jedi, I mean Empire Boba Fett's. I know Obi-Wan Kenobi, or only one Kenobi, is a big fan of this card, so it's really nice. And this is a classic image. And then the power droid, he just looks so lovely. So if it doesn't exist on the Trilogo card, then we move on to the Empire cards. But I think I'll save that for another day. It's getting dark, but it's a really good guide. You know, it's got all the card backs as well, revenge cards, all that sort of stuff. So yeah. So if the retro collection follows the vintage Kenner, it's going to follow this sort of like the first 6, then the next 6 of the first 12 figures, then the next, these lot. And you know, that's whether they're going to do every figure is an unknown. I'm sure they will, because obviously Hasbro know this is a license to take our cash. Okay, so cheers, goodbye.